All right, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke. Thank you for joining us at 10:30 for Weather Extra. I've been with you all week. I'll be with you 4 out of 5 days next week, too, at the same time, about 10:30 on your Friday morning. Woke up to some very, very dense fog this morning, and it did cause kind of a headache for a lot of you for your morning commute. It was mainly isolated to the areas that saw the severe storms yesterday. Look back at yesterday, we were under a severe thunderstorm watch for the afternoon and evening. The coverage of these storms, it was very spotty yesterday, which was kind of interesting. We had a lot of storms to our north in Tennessee, a lot of storms to our west in Mississippi, and then storms to our south through parts of central Alabama. It's almost like we had a bit of a shield over us. Now, I can't say that for everyone, as we did have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Most of those were out for the threat of large hail and gusty winds, but just looking back at one of my posts from yesterday that was kind of alerting you to the potential of some strong storms. A lot of people, we didn't see anything. We've got sunshine here. Personally, I'm never going to complain about a lack of severe storms in my location, but some of those folks did see the hail and the gusty winds. You have to keep in mind we've got a pretty wide viewing area, not so much long ways, but more of a wide viewing area. So storms were pretty spotty, and that's kind of what we were hinting at, widely scattered to scattered showers and storms yesterday. Well, the locations that saw the most rainfall, it was in Middle Tennessee and also parts of northeast Alabama, and that's where we had the most dense fog this morning. A lot of that just has to do with that soil moisture. So here's a look in Gunnersville. Couldn't see anything during the entire morning newscast as they were just fogged in, but now, hey, look at that. Pretty nice looking Friday out there in Marshall County. Good morning to you. Here's a look in Huntsville. Just looking at the parkway here, north-southbound traffic seems to be moving along just fine, and we're actually anticipating a pretty nice Friday from start to finish. Other than the fog, of course, we had this morning, we are going to be maybe looking at a shower chance through the afternoon, but more importantly, it's Mother's Day weekend that we have to focus on the rainfall and kind of time that out for you so you can plan your weekend activities accordingly. Still some pockets of poor visibility, I would guess. A lot of that just has to do with low cloud cover there in parts of Middle Tennessee, but everyone else, for the most part, back to normal as far as how far you could see on a day like today. And where we saw the most dense fog, that's where we have the cooler temperatures there in Middle Tennessee. They're still in the low to mid 60s. We're here across North Alabama, already seeing low to mid 70s. So warming up very quickly. Highs might actually be closer to 80 degrees today just because we are seeing some of that sunshine. So temps maybe add a few to your through the day forecast. I think we will see some intermittent cloud cover kind of just wrapping around as we go through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. But all in all, a really nice end to the week. And this week has kind of brought us some ups and downs. Think of how cool and cloudy we were on Monday. That feels like so long ago. And then Tuesday was a great day. And Wednesday had some rain and storms as well. Here's a look at your weekend forecast. And it's big because Sunday is Mother's Day. And I just feel like we've had some dud weekends lately that have brought a lot of rain. Think of last weekend. We had rain, even some severe storms. Sunday brought us some showers as well. But for your weekend, and basically the cloud cover really starts to move in overnight tonight into tomorrow. So most of the day on Saturday is mostly cloudy to overcast, and that will obviously keep temperatures a bit cooler in the mid to upper 60s. We are looking at periods of rain for many of you. This will be kind of the afternoon evening time frame for Saturday, but some of you, if you live south of the Tennessee River, that rain's going to move in a little bit earlier, and of course I'll go into more detail about that coming up. Mother's Day Sunday itself, overcast skies for a good portion of the day, maybe some peaks of sun into the afternoon. Highs a touch warmer there at 72, and then we are anticipating more showers and potentially some thunder as well coming in for Sunday night, and kind of the rain storm pattern that continues as we go into next work and school week, at least for the early part of next work and school week. But here's a look at your Saturday rain and storm timeline. Chances really increasing through the afternoon and evening hours. So if you have things planned outside, just keep an eye on the radar on your 48 weather app. Obviously, great tool to have, has your hour-by-hour forecast, everything. We update that forecast pretty regularly too. So Saturday, The earlier in the day, the better chances you have of staying dry. The later in the day, well, we'll be talking about some rainfall here. So here's future radar. This is 1 o'clock this afternoon. Temperatures warming into the mid to upper 70s. Now notice some of the blips of green there. There is still a chance of maybe seeing some pockets of drizzle or even some light showers. Not expecting much in the form of storms. A little thunder, lightning possible, and this model run is kind of favoring areas of northeast Alabama. But all in all, should be okay through the Friday evening commute home from work. Temps still in the 70s. Not terribly humid today. It is a touch on the muggy side, but the wind is actually going to be from the north and east, and that wind is going to progressively increase the later we go into Friday night. So say you have a bonfire planned, potentially you're out in the backyard, you will notice that wind starting to pick up too. I know Trash Panda Baseball this evening. I'll be out at the game. That forecast coming up here in a second. Just to take a look at the overnight hours, we already start to see that rain creeping in from the south. And this almost reminds me of a kind of a landfalling tropical system. We've got that center of low pressure. It's in the Gulf right now, and this is what the models have been struggling with, is the placement of that low. But essentially it's going to start to lift to the north, and the counterclockwise rotation around that low, you kind of get those almost outer tropical bands of rainfall moving in. Now here's noon, so most of the activity is now just staying south of the Tennessee River. Look how cool our temperatures are too, and if we see rain earlier, that will keep us probably even cooler than that 67, 68 we're forecasting for tomorrow. But as you go later in the day, you start to see those showers not only spreading out a bit and becoming more widespread, they kind of pick up in intensity and they start to track farther to the north. These showers will be moving from southeast off to the north and west. So that's kind of your Saturday afternoon, evening. That's why the earlier in the day you could get your outside stuff done, and maybe even just cutting the grass or something like that, the better chance you have of staying dry. By Saturday night, it's not widespread rainfall. We'll still be tracking a few showers for you, and then potentially even into Mother's Day Sunday morning, might be looking at a little bit of rain, potentially early in the morning if you're taking mom or grandma to church here. Just kind of a broader look at things here as we look at your Saturday, as showers tracking in from the southwest to the northeast, continuing kind of that northwesterly track there. But there is going to be rain on the radar as we go through Saturday afternoon and evening. It's not a terrible weekend. It's just not a perfect Mother's Day weekend, unfortunately. We go into Sunday morning. There's a look at some of the spotty showers. A good portion of the day will just kind of be cloudy, warm. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s, and then we start tracking more scattered showers and storms potentially as we go into Sunday evening. And then as we go into Monday, this is when we get into some of that longer range model resolution. It's not as precise, kind of just gives you more of a general overview, but potentially for that morning commute on Monday, we'll have some periods of showers there. Temps will be in the 60s, and the rain just kind of stays with us, hit and miss as we go through the day. I think a lot of that will just be rain showers, not talking about a threat of strong to severe storms. Some thunder is possible, can't be ruled out. Forecast rainfall on the model data, it's been kind of back and forth, and it shows a huge bullseye over to you in Marshall County. We'll see whether or not that pans out exactly, but I would say probably a quarter to at least half an inch of rain. That's probably a safe play for a good portion of Saturday and then into Sunday night. All right, let's talk Trash Panda Baseball. My wife Heather and I, we will be at the game. First game of the season here, and it should be a great night. Temperature is pretty warm during the first pitch. 6:35, hosting those Montgomery Biscuits, and probably going to the game in shorts and a t-shirt, but I am definitely going to bring an extra layer. And it's not just because the temperatures are going to start to cool off, obviously once the sun sets, that's a given, but it's actually going to be the wind, and that northeasterly wind, if you've been to Toyota Field, it will be coming kind of out of left field there, right over from left field. So if you're sitting on the first base line, you might have a little bit more wind. Some of you, the stadium will naturally just kind of block some of that wind, but the wind gusts will probably be about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So that wind will almost be blowing out to right field, where they have that cool kind of bar setup area there. So hoping for a great night of baseball, obviously, and we get fireworks. It's a Friday game. They typically do fireworks there. Pollen count, I can vouch for this firsthand. A lot of sniffling and sneezing. It's actually the itchy eyes for me today, but that tree pollen and some of that grass pollen in the high category. Some of the rainfall we see through the day Saturday might lower it a bit, and we'll certainly start to see some relief by Mother's Day Sunday as far as that actual pollen count. Here's the setup Here's where that low is, right over Louisiana. A lot of rainfall, and that is just going to kind of meander and track northeast as we go through the overnight. We start to see the clouds coming in first, and then eventually see some of those outer bands of rainfall kind of wrapping around too. And that's why this weekend forecast all week has just been kind of a pain to deal with, because all the models had that low in a different place. But it looks like it's going to inch its way from the Gulf a little bit to the northeast, and then we start to see some of those bands of rainfall arriving for Saturday afternoon, evening. 57 overnight tonight, mainly cloudy, small chance of a shower into tomorrow morning. Here's the day tomorrow. We'll just keep the mention of showers in, kind of a cloudy, cool, damp day. It will look like rain for a good portion of your Saturday, but it will not rain from start to finish, just mainly during the afternoon. To all the moms, grandmas, mom figures out there watching, from all of us here at 48, happy early Mother's Day. One last look at your Mother's Day weekend. Again, Saturday, expecting that afternoon rain, cloudy, cool temps there in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday, could see some showers during the morning, but most of the rain and storm activity will come in as we go into kind of that Sunday afternoon, evening time frame, and then that rain is actually going to carry over as we go into Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures early next week starting off on a cooler, kind of below average note in the mid 70s. Should have a late week warm up coming back in the mid to upper 80s. More humidity, going to start to feel more and more like that late spring, summertime pattern with the temps in the 80s, the high humidity, talking about that heat index. And an early look at next week, the following weekend. I know that's a ways away. Might see some scattered showers and storms, but that's about it for Weather Extra. Hopefully that covers at least your Mother's Day weekend forecast. Again, if you're out at the Trash Panda game, come say hello. If you see me, just wishing you guys the best. Have a great weekend. Spoil mom and grandma, and make sure to take care of them. I'll be on Tennessee Valley Living with Peyton Walker and a special guest host, her mom, starting at 11 o'clock. And then on the new newscast, Gina Benitez has the afternoon off. Good for her. It'll actually be myself and Matthew King. So hope to see you during TVL and our news at noon. Have a fun and safe weekend. And yeah, we'll see you next week, Monday, 10:30. Have a great weekend, everyone.